you got any?
Landing taxi on. Off. Leave your windows open to reserve unit just to connect wind channel is off. TV switches.
No.
Engine bleeds.
Off.
Engine generators.
Off.
Air conditioning panel.
Off.
Lights and anti-call.
Set.
Cabin sounds not applicable. Inverters.
Set.
Chocks. On the nose.
Park brake.
Release.
Park.
Thank you, be secured. And thank you.
Thank you, Captain.
Push back. Left-hand seat takeoff, standard malfunction aboard procedures to apply, calls will be airspeed, 80 knots by controls, V1 109, rotate 111, V2 120, minimum flap retraction 140. Minimum fault is 18,500 inch-pounds, we'll stop at 18, and it's a 1077 normal beat takeoff only. No dumping required, return speeds 131 and 122. Aids we got set up for the departure, that's the Pinot 4 Tango departure as per ATC as we've discussed, and we flight plan for level 210. Thank you. Here we have got some great dogs. Drive 1845. Okay, Bravo.
Cool. You can take external now.
One for them. Let's continue the checks, thanks.
Ready out.
Out the way my side.
And my side. No sleeper covers. Removed. Second breakers. Checked in. Electrical fan. Set. Cabin sounds not applicable. Fuel pan. Set. APU. On-speed ducting to check generator line. Inverters. Set. Fuel quantity distribution. 26-4.
And distribution is good.
Fuel arrangement.
Off.
All pillar flaps open fixed. Hydraulic panel set. Pressure check. Park brake.
Set.
Jump. Pressures. Top control panel set. Throttles.
Ground start.
Condition.
Ground start.
Sync mask off. TD switch. Auto. Tab bar.
Bubble.
Flat.
I'm indicating that.
Ground prox.
Bubble.
Flight director.
All up on it.
Radius.
All on my side, HF is off.
And on my side, HF. Dot transport. Contract 1922, calling a west start. And what's the enter information profile? Level 210.
Contract 1922, started with the cruise without fixing.
For the move to contract 1922. Anti-colon lock, set, ground all buttons. Low, GRG, below 200. Lead on 4. First trip.
And turning full.
Start line, transition start. Normal selected, engine down, lights out. Smash compass system, clear on the right.
Right check. Stay on the left. BA left hand turn. 0797.
Sky 30, good morning, flight level 330, descending flight level 3.
Allison, working for SAFE, flight engineer on the Hercules L382 civilian model. I just want to introduce you to and take you through what we usually do on a pre-flight. Usually what we take is check the P2 covers is off and it's not bent, it's straight. And you go all around for general, check the intake of the air conditioning pack, check the intake and the exhaust, check the oil levels, and then your blowout disc for the oxygen, the green one. It blows out if it's over pressurized. Then we take a general look out for static ports that is open and the general crack windows and ports, lightning and the aerials, and just the general. Then we come to the intake of the cargo compartment, the refrigeration unit. Check the intake is clear, and again general. Then the exhaust, it's not cracked, it's not fallen off. Go around, check the levels of the oil, because the turbine runs a high RPM. Check your doors and the wheels for cuts and general wear and tear, as well as the brake unit inside for wear, and then general of the retractable undercarriage. It goes up, it's a screw jack, it retracts into the wheel well with a screw jack, but it's driven by hydraulics gearbox. Okay, then we cut to the wing, check for general and for leading edges for over temperature, because the anti-icing is on the leading edges. Then we check the engines for cowlings that open, oil leaks, and the general. Then we get to the prop. It's a constant speed prop, standard Hamilton. It's driven by an engine, it's Allison T56, develops 4,100 horsepower, and the prop develops 19,600 pounds torque. It's reversible and it's constant speed. Check the engines for normal oil cooler flaps that it's not cracked, and then the leading edge again for overheating. Everything is fine, there's no fuel leaks coming out, and again this engine exactly the same. The engine turns at over 13,000 RPM, which connects to a torque tube that drives the prop through a reduction gearbox just over 1,000 RPM. Again, we check the leading edges for overheating, blue marks, pitting, holes, anything that's not the normal. Get the lights, and then we check the ailerons, the elevators and the flaps for any excessive bendage or binding. Check the fuel tanks, vents that are open. In this aircraft, with the external tanks, we can put up to 46,000 pounds of fuel. So if you take the fuel out, you must put some air in there. Then we go back to the engine, the tailpipe, check for cracks. Temperature coming out here is sometimes up to almost 1,000 degrees. So it's a lot of high temperature here. The back of the wing, we check the flaps, no binding, everything looks fine. Again, this exhaust and the rest of the wing. Then we check for the armpit for cracks and stuff that is broken off. Everything looks fine. And again, we check the back wheel as well. We've got 4 brakes on this aircraft, and they take quite a punishment if you land with max all-up weight. This aircraft can maximum land weight is 155,000 pounds takeoff, 137 max landing weight. Then we go back again, check for aircraft general, nothing out of the ordinary. The aerials, and then the pitot tube at the back, not scraped, and the ramp. Check everything, it's normal, all the locks is in, and the actuator is not leaking. We go back to the tailplane. Check the tailplane, it's also got de-icing on it. Check for blue marks for overheating. That looks fine. And then we check the trim, elevated trim. That looks okay. And the rudder's got a trim as well. Once we get into the aircraft, we'll check the freedom of the movement of it. Everything looks fine. Static wicks, all of them, it's fine, and there's no overheating. And then we just do this side is exactly as the opposite side that we just done, and we'll go inside and show you a bit more of the inside. Okay.
Good day, whoever's watching this. I'm Contractors, I'm a loadmaster on the C130. Basically everything that goes in and out the back is my responsibility. I do the trim sheet and some of the paperwork for the various contracts that we do. As you can see, this is our cargo compartment. It's got a length of 56 feet. It's about 120 inches wide, 109 inches wide, 120 inches high. You can fit 8 108-inch pallets inside here, and 5 125 containers, 125-inch containers. Not much more to say about the back of the aircraft, except basically if it fits we can take it. The aircraft is not very weight restricted. We're more runway restricted than weight restricted. And that's about it.
Henko Vermeulen. I'm the first officer on the Hercules. I'd like to introduce you to the instrument panel. On my right hand side we have the prop control panel. Various functions that's got to do with the propellers. We have over here the NTS selectors for the negative torque system, and we've got 4 lights here that will go on if a negative torque system is activated. And you can see there's 3 selectors here: NTS and valve and normal selection. When we fly, put it in valve, and if there's a negative torque that has been picked up by the system, the lights will come on. Then we have warning lights, 4 warning lights here, propeller low oil warning lights. If stall 2 course low, lights will come on, tell us that there's low oil in the propellers. Then we have propeller feather override buttons, and we can actually feather the propellers from this position, and it overrides the electrical feather. You can actually manually feather the propellers. It overrides the electrical system. Then we have propeller governor control switches, and they are normally in the normal positions, and we can select mechanical governing on the propeller governors with these switches. Then we have light switches for the instrument panels, and we have a synchrophaser unit here for the propellers to synchrophase the propellers, and we have an oxygen regulator, and when we fly we put it on 100% and normal position. And to test it, we've got a 3 position test, and then we have normal as we fly, and we can also put it to emergency. If we put to emergency, we've got a continuous flow, otherwise the flow is regulated. We move over to here, we've got flight instruments. We have a standby AH, our airspeed indicator, our flight director, altimeter. This is our VSI combined with our TCAS, traffic collision avoidance system, and we have a HSI, horizontal situation indicator, RMI, radio alt, and over here we have our undercarriage selector panel. And if we move down, over here is the hydraulic panel. We have 3 hydraulic systems on this aircraft. We have a utility system, a booster system, and an auxiliary system. And with this panel here we select all these systems. And we also have our anti-skid and our brake selector, either normal brakes or emergency brakes. If you move over here, this is our engine instruments. We have a torque indicator, RPM, TIT, fuel flows, our oil temperatures. Over here we got oil pressures, engine and gearbox oil pressures, oil quantities, and here we've got our oil cooler flaps position indicators. And our oil cooler flaps we open and close from this panel on the top here. Then as we move down, we have our various VHF radios, nav radios, and GPSs. We've got our automatic direction finders, our Honeywell Trimble GPSs. They are approved for en route navigation. We have our voice recorder, our flight recorder. This is just to put your flight recorder on. Our flight recorders and voice recorder are situated right at the back. Then we have our autopilot selector box, our transponder, and that's also for our traffic collision avoidance system. Works hand in hand, and that's superimposed on our vertical speed indicator. Then we have our VHF communication radios and VOR nav radios, and this box over here is to select, to listen, and to select the transmit various options on the radios. We have a flap selector over here, and if we move up, this is just an unshaded test to test our different systems, lights. And we come over here, we have our trim selector, This is our rudder trim, to trim left or right the rudder. We have a aileron trim, and we have an elevator tab trim. And there's various positions, emergencies and normal positions. If our normal elevator trim fail, we can go over to the electrical, to the emergency system. Moving over here is our throttle quadrant. We have our throttles and condition levers. As you can see, there's no pitch levers. That is controlled automatically with our throttle positions when you go into flight idle. This aircraft works basically like a fixed pitch propeller when in the ground range, and like a constant speed unit in the flight range. This side on the captain's panel is a little bit different. Hasn't got the hydraulic panel as on my side. It's got a weather radar for the captain to operate, and otherwise basically the flight instruments are all the same. If we move upwards, it's more into the flight engineer's range. Just to tell you, over here we have our T handles. If we do have a engine fire or a nacelle overheat or turbine overheat, we can shut down the engine by pulling the T handle, and it will shut down the hydraulics to that engine, fuel to that engine, and various other systems will be cut off. And we got a test over here to test for our engine fire. You'll see all the lights will go on red, and it's a steady indicator, and our turbine overheat will be a flashing lights. And Andy, if you want to take over on the flight engineers panel. Okay, I'll continue on the flight engineers panel. We have a fuel panel over here, and we have a total fuel indicator situated in the middle, and then all the other fuel tanks are broken up. We have 2 main outboard tanks, 2 main inboard tanks, and we have an auxiliary tank, as well as external tanks at the moment fitted. They can be taken off or fitted the external tanks as required. If you move up even further, you get to the electrical panel. This is for the electrical systems, and you've got various inverters and transformer rectifiers to change ACs to DC power, and the flight engineer got quite a big scope here to route and to plan all the electrics to various systems. If you move further up, you get to your anti-icing and de-icing systems, and your altimeter cabin pressure controls on the top left, and also for our auxiliary power units. It's basically another engine that to support pneumatics for engine start. We can start the APU from that panel over there. And that's basically in a nutshell the instrument panel of the Hercules. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Captain Kevin Rogers. I work with SAFE, which is contracted to a company called Contractors. On this specific contract that we are covering at the moment, we are working for DHL, which is Fast Freight Worldwide. What we are doing at the moment is we do the feeding into various places, commencing out of Cologne, coming into a place called Metz, which is in the northeastern part of France, where there's a mini hub. The freight actually gets offloaded off the aircraft. It gets resorted and then distributed to other aircraft, which take the freight to various other destinations, and then from here we will take the freight that is dedicated for Marseille and deliver it to Marseille, which is our final destination in the morning, where we complete the flight. We take a day's rest in a hotel in Marseille, and then that evening again we reverse the whole schedule, where we'll come in from Marseille, position to Metz, do the same offloading procedure where all the freight gets distributed and sorted, and then thereafter we proceed on to Cologne, where we terminate the flight for the night. This carries on for 6 nights in a week, and Oh, what else can I say? Continue things.
Takeoff briefing.
Right, it will be standard left-hand seat takeoff, standard malfunction and board procedures to apply. The course will be airspeed 80 knots, flight control V1108, rotate 110. V2 118, minimum flap projection 138, and 18,000 inch pounds, 15, 1077 normal, and dumping not required, return speed 127, 118. We got set up for the 3 November. Departure, if otherwise instructed by ATC, we'll adjust, but we have got it set up. It's just to briefly go over it. It's straight ahead to Lima Oscar uniform locator. Once overhead, then QDR of 055, and to intercept radio 337 Golf Tango Quebec, and climb 15 DME Golf Tango Quebec, maximum 70 unless as instructed by ATC.
Checks.
We've got Golf Tango Quebec on VOR 1 and 2, and Lima Oscar uniform ADF 1 and 2.
Nice.
And then inbound to D3.
Ready out.
Is out the way my side?
And my side. Uitlaatglas covers. Removed. Second breakers. Checked in. Electrical panel. Set. Cabin sound applicable fuel panel. Set. APU to standing by. lights out. GTC. Off stop.
I've got a Jackson board. Still looking upon my list.
Okay, 2 clear.
2 is clear.
Just check normal. Indio. 7 normal.
The trim is set. Flaps are set for takeoff. Radar's on. Clear the line into wake. And deploying my
And before takeoff checkers complete, standing by takeoff clearance. Flight idle schedule.
and copy cleared.
5,000.
559 traffic making an approach to runway 29 from the north there, had you inside.
10,000 up bench level. Accelerating. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18,000 pounds of torque. 80,000 good all flight control.
Company traffic at 2 miles per hour, report on traffic inside.
1. Rotate.
284
That's our number 2.
28 behind and wait.
Right here, please.
good evening. Climb flight level 100.
Climb flight level 100, contract flight. Cushion 50.
266, climb flight level 17.
Speed checks running. 50.
Speed checks on please. Check it.
Good evening, Express Finance 716, localizer 27 left established. Bus 70160, continue approach 27 left, wind coming. Continue approach 27 left, Express Finance 716.
500 meters, surface wind calm.
Cliff takeoff, contract file 03.
Cologne again. Good evening, it's Eurotrans 2465, fully ready now, stand echo for request, push and start for East Midlands.
2465, roger, traffic passing behind, call you shortly.
It's standing by, Eurotrans 2465.
Another line, please.
Okay, INS. Max doors.
Armed.
Door lights.
Check down.
Beacon.
That's on.
Max.
Closed.
Fuel pumps.
On.
Start pressure.
20 psi.
Checks complete.
Locks at 20.
Yep.
Chance 2465, push approved.
Push approved, Eurotrans 2465.
And flight to ground, so we are, checks complete. Clear to push and start and the brakes are set.
All good, gentlemen, so please release your brakes and get ready to push.
Right, the brakes are released, clear start 2 and 1 on the push.
Go ahead, sir. And we're pushing you back right now.
Turning 2. Start valve open.
30 psi. Pushing the 2.
Start valve closed.
Time on.
Turning 1. Stop. Lead.
Closed reset.
Packs.
Auto.
Electrics.
Check.
Hydraulics.
Check.
Checks
Clear
complete.
on the left.
Taxi.
Eurotrans 2465, request taxi.
Chance 2465, taxi 1 for left via Alpha 7 and the wind is 107 knots, clear takeoff.
Roger, taxi 1 for left via Alpha 7 and we are clear to take off Eurotrans 2465. Mess it out. Clear my side.
Control checks, please.
Okay, check no droop.
0 droop.
Elevators forward, 1 down.
Check.
Neutral.
Check.
Backward, 1 up.
Check.
Neutral.
Check.
Ailerons left, 2 up, 1 down.
Check.
Neutral.
Check.
Right, 2 up, 1 down.
Check.
Neutral.
Check.
What is left?
Check.
Right.
Check.
Check.
Full takeoff checks, that's please.
Full takeoff checks. The assumed temperature thrust computer.
Set flex.
Takeoff data and bugs.
Box set.
Checks and set.
Cross check. Flight instruments.
Set on the left.
Checked.
Stab trim.
1.5.
Set 1.5 up.
Spoilers.
On.
Flaps and slats.
016 clear.
016 through up.
Takeoff configuration.
Checked.
Controls. Check.
Checked.
Checked. Weight sheet 0 fuel weight.
Set.
MMO switch.
Z86.
APU shut down. Brake fans not required. Takeoff briefing.
That's complete. Not too far.
Okay. Still no questions. AFS.
FH.
Set.
Fuel panel set. Takeoff.
Checked.
The ignition's off. Cabin secure. Shoulder harnesses.
On.
On. Checks down to the line.
Okay, below the line, please, now. Engine stable.
2 stable.
Turbo, in line of sight.
knots. Power set.
Identified climb level 200.
Climb flight level 200, Eurotrans 2465.
200. Let's check. Cruise bound.
Trans 2465, continue the descent to altitude 2,000 feet.
Continue descent to altitude 2,000 feet, Eurotrans 2465.
2465, correct, turn right heading 360 base length.
Right 360 base, Eurotrans 2465.
Speed checked. Flight 60.
Trans 2465, turn right again, heading 060, close the localizer from the right and report established with 10 miles to go.
To right 060 to close, report established, Eurotrans 2465.
Speed checked.
Trans 2465, localizer established.
Trans 2465, thanks. Just becoming number 1, descend on the ILS, contact the tower, frequency 124.0, bye-bye.
124.0 and with the ILS, Trans 2465, goodbye. Tower, good evening, Trans 2465 is on the ILS at 8 miles.
Trans 2465, tower, good morning, continue approach.
Continue approach, Trans 2465.
Mode selector. Approach selectors. Approach check is complete.
Trans 2424, next on the right, parking on the western apron, stand 103.
Tango Radio Whiskey going to stand 103, your Trans 2424.
Right slopes aligned.
Land 09, Trans 2465.
And now, you connect 1020.
1020, thanks, your chance 2465.
Check, there's the beacon, obviously check this, flat 25 in the green, the landing checkers coming up. Lights on. 25 in the green. Checks, ignition's off, thrust computer. GA. Spoilers. Their arms. Here. Down 3 greens. Down 3 greens. Down 3 greens. Skid the 8 release lines. Order brakes not fitting. Flaps and slants. 25. 25. Yep. Hydraulics. 1000 servo. Landing check is complete. Let's get another check for you.
And your trans 2465, surface wind check, please.
Surface wind 030 degrees at 6 knots.
Please.
.500 servo. Above. Descend. 100. 50. 40. 20. 10.
Trans 2803 for weather avoidance. We'd like to maintain runway heading after takeoff for about 6-7 miles.
Trans 2803, roger, understood and approved.
Thank you.
Okay, all set? Yep. Checks complete. Checks complete, ready. Ready, go for it. Alright, JustPlanes. Check 2 stable. 2 stable. 2 stable. Tender, N1, SOS. Control, N1, SOS.
Passing 1400 and maintaining runway heading to
Thank you. Manchester Control, advise of your intentions for weather avoidance on 124.2, bye-bye.
124.2, thanks for your help, bye.
Express 8003, roger, descend, flight level 80.
Sending 8003.
Manchester, good morning, Malaysian 12, passing 270. Malaysian 12, Manchester, flight heading 270 and descend, flight level 120. Flight heading 270 and descend to 120, Malaysian 12.
Just Trans 2803 airborne off East Midlands, passing 3,500, maintaining runway heading to avoid weather.
Trans 2803, roger, radar heading down at 270 and climb flight level 100.
Thank you, reclear level 100, radar heading 270 for 2803.
Speed check, response to track, running lights up. Speed 250, number 2 to command. Accelerating in pitch. Transition, 1013. And they have to take off checklist, please.
Manchester Trans 2803 and weather avoidance, we'd like to come towards Wallasey now, please.
Yes, I'm quiet.
Nitro 19 Juliet there.
Negative 2803.
Trans 2803, can you just continue on this heading for a short period? I've got traffic inbound to Manchester dropping on top of you.
Yeah, that's fine, we'll maintain this for a short time.
Thanks. 19 Juliet, we're out of 7 for 6 now. Nitro 19 Juliet, roger, can you take a left turn? And 5 miles, we'll turn left 19 Juliet. 19 Juliet, roger, descend right to altitude 3,500 feet. Liverpool QNH 1020 millibars, confirming landing 0. Roger, we're landing on Lima 091020 down to 3,500, 19 Juliet. Yes, at 962 Foxtrot, contact London. Decimal 6, bye-bye now. London 133.6, jets at 962 Foxtrot, bye-bye. Eurotrans 2803, climb flight level 200.
Flight level 200 for 2803.
200.
And the Nitro 19 Juliet, you can give us the heading now. Nitro 19 Juliet, roger, left turn there, heading 270. Left 270, 19 Juliet. 19 Juliet, report that to Liverpool 11985, bye-bye now. 11985, so long 19 Juliet.
Flight level 120, but just at 471 Delta.
471 Delta, yeah. Contractors squadron are ready to copy. Surface wind 060 degrees 09 knots. Visibility 6 kilometers in mist. Cloud view at 1,200. Open 3,000. Temperature 10, dew point 8. Inches 1020. Grand tempo 3,000 meters. Cloud scattered 700 feet. Is denied as runway 10. All is super straight in approach China 28.
Okay, ILS on 28, please.
Okay, sir, and you're clear to establish on the localized runway 28. Inoperable at the moment due to the traffic landing runway 10. I'll have to switch around to you shortly.
Roger, standing by.
Right, well, I'll tune that ILS anyway because we're just on the radar from our sort of weather avoidance heading at the moment. Landing by PDM 282.
Surface wind 2803, 050 degrees 06 knots.
Yeah, let's go.
Right slopes now.
2803,
Well, thank you, and clear for the island approach runway 28. Contact Tower 11816. Good morning.
Speed checks on 610, lights on.
Trans 2803, good morning, established ILS 28.
Trans 2803 and clear to land runway 28. The wind 050 degrees at 6 knots.
Clear to land 28, 2803.
Yeah. Load selector. Approach. Approach check is complete. Okay, speed check, flap 15. 8. No, sorry, 8. Speed check, flap 8.
Eurotrans 2995, request the clearance to Shannon, and we're requesting runway 34 for departure if available.
We had a lock set.
Eurotrans 2995, okay, stand by for runway 34, give your clearance for 10, we'll see what we can do. You're clear to Shannon, it's a Cromwell 1 Echo, departure off runway 10, the squawk 2650, and frequency in the air is 129.17.
Roger, Cromwell 1 Echo, departure off runway 10, the squawk 2650, and we're airborne 12917, standing by for small 34, Eurotrans 2995.
Eurotrans 2995. Good morning, close short of 10. Roger, holding short 10503. Sun 2995, clear takeoff from runway 10, wind is 060 degrees at 8 knots.
Clear takeoff runway 10, Eurotrans 2995.
Lights and clocks, watch running
Set.
lights on, checks complete, checks complete. Engine stable, 2 stable.
Trans 2995, passing flight level 95 for flight level 60, direct to points.
Delta 2995 approach, good morning to you. Identified on handover position is 38 miles northeast of Shannon Airfield, country number 3, vectoring ILS DME approach runway 06 for right turn.
Vectors ILS DME for runway 06. Your chance 2995.
2995, turn left heading 240 for downwind.
Left 240, your chance 2995.
Delta 128 cleared to intercept. Delta 128, approach eastbound to your present heading, clear 27 localized runway 06 to report established. Cleared ILS 0647, Delta 128.
Your chance 2995, localizer established.
Tower 2995, approach Roger, thanks for that. You're 10 miles from touchdown, number 1, clear for the approach, continue with Tower 118.7, goodbye now.
Tower 118.7, we're clear for the approach, your chance 2995, okay.
Mount 001, I have your ATC clearance if ready to copy.
Go ahead.
ATC clears the Emerald 001, Shannon destination Lima Echo Papa Alpha, via direct track to Norla, flight level 230 to expect level change en route, squawk 2023.
Clear to Palma, direct track Norla, 230-2023, squawk 001.
Mount 001, Tower back right, do you require backtrack from taxiway Alpha?
Negative.
I say again?
Negative.
So short runway 06 for the moment.
Good morning, your chance 2995 on the ILS at 7 miles.
Your chance 2995, Tower, good morning to you, clear to land runway 06, surface wind is calm.
Good land, your chance 2995.
Again 270, continue taxi now for stand 28.
Mode selected. Thanks so much. Right, to check this clear altitude screen. Looks like second flight director on. Second flight director. Right, altitude 3,500. Checks the ignition's off. Yes, computer. GA. Spoilers. Gear. Down 3 greens. 3 greens. Skid. Leg release lights. Put the brakes and fitted. Glass and slats. 25 cruise that one. 100 above. This side. 100. 50. 30. 20. 10.
Mount 001, line up runway 06 and wait.
Up 06 and wait, 001. We'll backtrack while the airfield is clearing.
001, no problem, that's it. Trans 2995 Tower, the ground time 47, last right turn via Delta 2, cross runway 31, Delta 1, parking stand 24.
The last right, Delta 2, cross runway 31, Delta 1, and parking stand 24, your trans 2995.
01 Tower 1 time 49er, contact Shannon Control 124.7. Good morning.
1247, 001, bye.
Good look out on the right, please. Sure, thanks.
My name is Mike Wolfenden, a flight engineer on the A300 for Air Contractors, and we're just about to do a walk-around inspection prior to our flight to East Midlands this evening. So we always start the walk-around at the same position. We come down the steps and we start front left-hand side of the aircraft, and then we work around in a clockwise direction and finishing back at this position. By doing that, we hopefully we miss nothing out. We see everything at the same time. Every walk round we look at the same things, and therefore we miss nothing. So we start on this side here, and here we're looking at angle of attack probes and general condition of the fuselage on this side. Working round forward, toilet service panels, pitot tube probes, and the radome of the aircraft. Particular attention to the radome today, because on a flight in last night we came through a load of thunderstorms and lightning activity, so we were looking particularly for lightning strikes today, and we don't have any problems today. Nothing there, no worries. So we'll have more pitot probes, and up here we have the manual outflow valve, which we can show you later on the cockpit, the controls for that. Coming down under the nose, looking at the nose landing gear. A quick look up inside, make sure there's no hydraulic leaks. Landing lights, no bulbs blown. And up in this hole here we have the hole for the nose landing gear pin. We need to make double sure that the nose landing gear pin has been removed. Coming round the gear, general functioning and no damage. Tyres all okay. Tie bolts we can check for looseness. Tyres are all okay, no cuts. Pressures look reasonable. Here we have all the nose wheel steering mechanism. A lot of hydraulic pipes and actuators. We check for leaks and general assembly there. Tie bolts again on this side of the wheel. Coming up this side of the aircraft, we've got more of the angle of attack probes. It's the forward belly door. Along the lower edge here, we have all the latch actuators. So if any of these actuators are extended, it means the door's not latched properly. So that all looks fine. Hinge line along the top, no problems here. Further up here we have the oxygen blowout indicators. So they indicate whether the oxygen system has had an overpressurization. So the green, if we have the green discs are showing, it means there's no problems. Further down, the static vent ports. Just checking there that there's no damage on that surface there, okay? Coming underneath the aircraft, forward there's a servicing access, another servicing access hole here. We need to make sure they're all in position. And further back, the two air conditioning packs, and the right hand one contains the refuel panel. So while we're here, we can have a look in the refuel panel which we need to set up for the fuel for this particular flight. The refueling system on the A300 is largely automatic with a manual override. So all we need to do here is, this particular flight, we need 40,000 pounds of fuel, which we set on this dial here. That's the panel set. When we plug in the refueler, that will automatically refuel to the correct amount. In this case, about 12,500 pounds in these two, and 7.7 in the outers, which should give us 40,000. So we leave that until the refueler comes back, and we carry on working our way out. Just looking at the underside of the wing here. Up in this position here is the RAT, the ram air turbine. So in the event of a hydraulic failure, out of this panel here will drop an air-driven hydraulic pump, which is controlled from inside the cockpit. That's all stowed away, no leaks or anything there. Down the side of the wing is a few access panels for the fuel tanks. We can just a general check for leaks. Doesn't be any problems here. And coming further out to the back of the engine, we can look first in the turbine area of the engine, just checking for damage to the blades. We don't see any problems. And then working our way forward up the engine, on the right hand side there's an oil cooler for the CSD. Look in the back of the fan, all the struts. And likewise on the left hand side, just looking at the fan and the general condition. And stepping back and looking at the engine, look at the thrust reverser on this side, make sure it's all stowed. No problems here. And not too much to look at, but underneath, a good clue if there's any problems with the engine. If there's a load of oil underneath the engine, obviously we've had a leak of some sort, either oil or hydraulics. No problem there. Coming in to the front of the engine, we can look at the fan, looking for blade damage all the way around. You see a few of the blades have had damage in the past and been blended out. They of course are no problem to us. And then on the inside we can see the actual inlet to the core of the engine. All looks okay. Quick look around the outside of the inlet, make sure there's no damage there. And similar on the right hand side of the engine, the thrust reverser is stowed. No leaks, no panels loose. And then we come up the leading edge of the wing, we can just check all the leading edge devices. Make sure they're all okay. No shutters missing, screw jacks damaged, or damage to the leading edge itself. Coming further out, we can have a good look from this position at the whole aircraft. So we can see all down the wing, we can see the front of the aircraft, all the way back, and all the way up the top of the fin. From this position you can see a lot of the aircraft, pick up any damage to leading edges, panels missing, all that kind of stuff. We don't actually have the. We'd check at this position. We'd check the navigation lights are working. And coming on the trailing edge of the wing, we can check underneath for hydraulic leaks from these outboard ailerons here. The low-speed ailerons, inboard end of those, there's the hydraulic power packs are positioned. So we're checking for leaks under there. As we come inboard, we're looking at all the flaps, the flap canoes, make sure they're all hanging on. There's nothing damaged, no panels hanging off. We have the landing lights. They sometimes get damaged. That seems to be okay. And right on the inboard is the all-speed aileron, which also has triple actuators. We check for leaks around the inner edge of that. Coming into the gear, the wheels and brake units to be checked. The brake wear indicator pins on the here on the brakes tell us that there's still plenty of wear on these units, no problems. And there's just a general condition of the tyres. There's no cuts, the pressures look reasonable. We work our way around here so we don't miss any part of the gear. Looking at the side one view of the wheels, in here we can see the brake unit has a fan. If we can get that to spin round, you can just see that. So when we land, we generate a lot of heat in the brake units, and we have electrically operated fans which cool the brakes down and stop the tyre blowing up. These two outlets here are for the rear outflow valves. We can just check in there to make sure there's nothing blocking those. And then a rear bumper. We can, in the case of an over rotation, this bumper here will be scraped or damaged. There's actually a small shock absorber in there to absorb any shock. So working our way further back, we come underneath the APU, and looking up, you can see the APU inlet. We can see there's a fire extinguisher blowout bottle on the blowout indicator on a little red disc on the left-hand side there. So that tells us if the fire extinguisher has a thermal discharge or not. That's okay. So we walk further back, we can see the general elevator layout, and we can check once again. There's triple actuators in either elevator. So we look underneath there to see hydraulic leaks. And there's no problems there. Further out on the elevator, you can see the static discharge wicks. And looking up at the rudder, there's from here we can see the back trailing edge of it and see if there's any damage. All appears okay. And then also from this position, we can have a good general look from the back of the aircraft. So we look from right to left all the way along the wing, so we can see the ailerons are drooped. We can see the roll spoilers, the dump spoilers, and working our way across. Some of those spoilers stick up and they're stuck. So we just make sure everything's stowed away and all in good condition. So we continue back down the left-hand side, of the aircraft, doing much the same as we were on the other side, just checking for loose panels. On this side we can see the leading edge of the stab. On this there's a position indicator here that should show the stowed position, the 0 position for the all moving stabilizer. So that's in the correct position. When we get hydraulics on later, the pilots will move the stabilizer full range of movement to make sure that's all functioning correctly. There's various deactivations.
Your chance 2592 will be ready on reaching.
Thanks, 2592 on turn round clear, takeoff 06 out departure, turn on track, flight level 230.
Roger, on turn around, clear takeoff 06 and it's climb 50230 on track. Your chance 2592.
That is correct, and the wind check 070 degrees magnetic 4 knots.
Your chance 2590, thanks.
Check lower line, brake temperatures and fans checked and off, packs are on. DME transponder.
On.
Master warning.
Recall, takeoff fitted.
Thank you. All the brakes not fitted. Order throttle.
Yep. Armed.
Lights and clocks.
Yep, lights and clocks are.
Takeoff checklist complete.
Ready to go.
Shannon Ryanair 106 with Papa 1017 requesting push and start on 27. Ryanair 106, okay, just hold your push for a moment there. I'll give a push to an aircraft stand 23 on your left hand side with no comms. Okay, Mr. Evans. Oh, okay, yeah, I can see his head. He's going to push behind you over here for next to 11, so as soon as you see him pass behind, your push starts to make 06 for departure. Okay, when he's clear, push and start approved, Ryanair 106. And then the Q&A check view 1017 cross. That's it, 1017, thanks.
2592 is airborne out of 2000.
2592, your airborne time is 37, channel control 124.7. Fine on.
1247, 2592, goodbye. Channel control, Eurotrans 2592, good evening.
2592, good evening to you, radar contact to handover. What's your final request for this evening?
Stand by, 330.
Roger, copy that. And just to confirm, have you got RVSM certification?
Negative. We'll take 290, please.
Probably 270, release to London. Climb initially, flight level 230, stand by for the higher, please.
Roger, 230 on reaching 2592.
Speed check, slash retractors, landing lights on, check, slash.
And you're on 2592, Shannon, you are re-cleared now, flight level 270.
Reclear level 270, 2592.
You're right, eject. Number 2 to command. Okay. 27, that's right. Accelerating in pitch. And they have to take up to. Yeah, speed. Just approaching transition now. Low speed out of them. Got a conflict warning.
You're on 2592, Shannon, confirming clear direct to Liffey.
Thank you very much. Direct to Liffey 2592. Trans 2592, request further descent.
2592, descend out of flight level 240.
Reclear level 240, 2592.
Contract 2555, turn right now, fly heading 110 degrees. 110 degrees, contract 2555. And 2555, descend out of flight level 200. And Eurotrans 2592, further right now, fly heading 125 degrees, and report that you're heading to Manchester Control on 124.2.
Right 125 and 1242 for 2592. Manchester Eurotrans 2592 is leveling 200 and radar heading 125.
Thank you, 2592, continue on the heading.
Right.
Manchester evening, speedbird 44 Zulu, reaching flight level 60, trend 3 Delta. Speedbird 44 Zulu, thanks, radar heading 020, climb flight level 140, no speed restriction. Call you. Eurotrans 2592, descend flight level 150.
2592 is reclear level 150.
Contract 2555, descend flight level 130. Flight level 130, contract 2555. Speedbird 44 Zulu, report your routing to Manchester 126.65. 126.65 is the routing, Speedbird 44 Zulu, bye. Britannia 095 Bravo, turn right heading 340. Shuttle 2 Whiskey, route direct to Jane. Shuttle 2 Whiskey, descend to flight level 110. Descend flight level 110, Shuttle 2 Whiskey.
East Midland Eurotrans 2592, good evening, it's an A300 with Papa on the radar heading 110.
Kit 2592, squawk ident, continue heading 110. B vectors to ILS, runway 09, current information is Quebec, QNH 1020.
Relative Quebec will get and 1020, 2592.
70, cover 100. Contractors 2555, closing ILS from the left, report established. Okay, well, call established, closing ILS from the left, 2555. Date on the localizer. 2788, thank you, continue approach, contact tower 124.0. 1240. Contractors 2555, descent to altitude 2,000 feet. 2,000 feet, we're established on the localizer, contact 2555. Roger 2555. Trans 2592, descent to altitude 4,000 feet on 1020.
4000, 1020, 2592.
Those clear to enter the zone, special VFR, not above 2,000 feet in the zone. Continuous dispatch double 3000 feet, pushing way half, please take
592 is established 09.
2592, descend on the ILS, contact tower 124.0.
1240 2592.
Flight slope green, second flight director, set Mr. Coach altitude.
Capital 155, landed at 28, vacate right, parking stand 101 on the west apron. Left and 108 for contractor 555. Contractor 255 and 101.
Get
check 101.
Tower Trans 2592 is established 4 miles 09.
Trans 2592, good evening. Surface wind is 060 degrees, 7 knots, clear to land, runway 09.
2592 is clear to land 09.
Clock 25 in the green, landing checklist.
Ignition is off, trust computer. Spoilers? Gear.
Down 3 greens. 1000 servo out.
Down 3 greens. Empty skidders 8 release lights. Auto brakes unfitted. Flaps and slats.
25, 25, 2 goes on 525.
Hydraulics are checked. Landing check is complete.
Right, bottles round. Aeroplane down.
6 minutes time, good evening, it's Capital 100 with you established on the localizer 8.8. Capital 100, good evening, continue approach. Surface wind is 060 degrees and 7 knots, you're number 2 in traffic. Continue number 2.
Checked.
Slightly right and stuff.
Checked. Land.
Trans 2592 landed at 31, vacate right, parking stand 110.
Roger, vacate right, parking stand 110, fuel trans 2592.
Thank you, yeah, good job. Cheers.
Tower 2486, we're getting unauthorized transmissions on this frequency, and also we had an approach frequency. It sounds like children or somebody shouting and playing music intermittently. Your trans 2486, roger, thank you.
to Eurotrans 5013 flight Airbus from Cologne to Budapest. We'll be flying probably at an altitude of 33,000 feet, and our routing takes us out of Frankfurt, out of Cologne, southeast towards Frankfurt. Then we fly east until we hit the Czech border, where we turn further southeast, flying direct to the confluence of the Czech border with Slovakia, passing about 50 miles southeast of Prague. And near the Slovakian border, at that point we're probably about 60 miles north of Linz in Austria. We then turn a little bit further southeast and cross the Danube into Budapest. Our flight time should be approximately 1 hour 45 minutes, and we are expecting a little bit of bad weather initially when we take off from Cologne. There were thunderstorms when we came in an hour ago. They will have moved a little bit towards the east, and we may experience a little bit of turbulence and possibly see some thunderstorms on the way up, climbing up to 33,000. It takes us about 18 minutes to get to 33,000, and once we're there we should experience no further bad weather at all. Thank you. Profile will be at 1800 and 3300, and the SID will be a Segan 6 Foxtrot off 14 left. That's plate G7, effective 19th of April 01. Take off it straight ahead to the KBO, 3.5 DME or 1500, whichever is later. It should be the 3.5. Whereupon a left turn 098 to Kola, from Kola 084 to 18D Kola, and then right turn off Siegen down towards Frankfurt, but actually called Bombi. Sector safe's 37 all the way around. It's 5,000 stop height in the window. Normal procedures below 10. Dusseldorf radar 18.75 immediately after takeoff, unless we get a different frequency on clearance. Questions?
No questions.
Roger.
Start pressure 28. Oil pressure.
And turn number 1, please.
Turning on. Start valve open.
Start pressure 28. Oil pressure.
Delivery Connect 656.
Düsseldorf, good morning, Eurotrans 5013 is passing 1,300.
Eurotrans 5013 on the flight cloud level 141.
Reclaim flight level 140, Eurotrans 5013.
401, descend flight level 15.
Fly me round to 098, please. Green machine, select 250 knots, please.
Yeah, joining it.
Pilot going in. And the after takeoff checks.
Sulis, okay, basically go for Pygmy.
Okay.
Is on the clock. So the Domo, there it is there. Sulis.
Yeah.
That's Pygmy.
Yeah.
Bombi's there. And Kulok is here, so if you go for Kulok.
Well, why don't you put Sulis in number 2. Yeah, go ahead.
Sulis is north, 50045.
0045.
Check. And east, 10437.
1043.
401, contact survival 108. Passing flight level 320, Eurotrans 503. However, plot your Mach number at level 330. 0.8. Roger, 0.8 and 330, Eurotrans 503.
This is the flight engineers panel. It's built up of all the systems, all laid out as the aircraft is laid out. This is the electrical system, the fuel system, the hydraulic system, oxygen system. Miscellaneous here from the brakes tells it the temperature of the brakes before we take off. And these are smoke detectors panel. This is the auxiliary power unit, and these are engine instruments, the 2 engines, number 1 and number 2, identical instruments, a vibration meter. This is the pressurization and air conditioning system, broken up into 2 sides once again, comes right up. This is the cabin temperature control system. Have a main deck smoke system here and a ventilation system there. This is primarily the maintenance side of the aeroplane, the maintenance systems. Coming back down there, we've got a panel where we can tell if there's any doors are open or not locked fully. Coming down, the flight recorder is here. This is the fuel jettison panel. And below that, the probe heat system, standard lighting system, standard clock. And behind me is all the circuit breakers, and they all tie up with these panels here. And as you can see, we have more circuit breakers up here, and they are mainly for the flight instruments above. And that mainly comprises the flight engineers panels.
The arrival plate will be this one, which is the H1 28 December 00, ferry head, coming in via Tabso. Procedurally, it'll be 104 inbound TPS. sector same, it's 36 the way we're coming from. Speed limit 24 or less before passing the TMA boundary or otherwise instructed by ATC. Most likely the program is we will get radar vectors. The last two occasions I've come in from Tavso, I've actually vectored direct at Tapiota and gone downwind right hand for runway 31. They've got it showing errors coming downwind left hand for 31. So it's just a question of whatever they want. I think it's all to do with noise. Depends how early we are in the morning. I know the last two occasions I've gone north of the city into Tapiota and downwind right hand. After that we'll go on to play Mike 3. Effective the 23rd of April 98. Ferry Hedge, Budapest, FHL 1115, ILS 31 left, elevation 495, threshold 437. Platform height is 2500. Through there by 11 DME, past the MNR, hit the glide slope around about 6.5 miles, standard 3-degree glide, down to a minima of 650, 550. In the event of a miss, straight ahead to 2,000 feet, and that
Trans 5013, descend to flight level 110.
Descend flight level 110, Eurotrans 5013.
Ignition is cranked. That's the computer. Yeah. Spoilers. Here.
Visual landing.
Speed 100 feet. 50, 30, 20, 10.
Stam 15, Eurotrans 5013.
After landing, proceed.
View is standing by.
folks. My name is First Officer Grant Cohen. With me tonight is Captain Kevin Price and Flight Engineer Derek O'Fee. If you like, I can just give you an explanation of some of our instruments here. On the right hand side I've got the panel exactly the same as the captain's panel. In the middle we've got the standard ADI or artificial horizon, and below that we've got our navigation instruments, basically telling us a sort of a plan view of where we are in space. That's called an HSI. Out to the right here we've got the altimeters, standard servo altimeter. Down below that, if you can see that, we've got a NDB set up here, so we can, it's a 20 NDB, we can track off the basic NDBs. Down below that we've got an electronic VSI, which also gives us TCAS information, which is for anti-collision avoidance type things. It just warns us who else is in the airspace with us. Out to the left we have another navigation instrument which is connected to the VORs, and that can give us track guidance as well. Above that one we've got our airspeed in knots, and also we have a Mach indication on there telling us what relative speed of sound we're doing. Simple little clock instrument to the left, and if we carry on moving left we can see undercarriage indication, undercarriage lever, and to the left there we've got a power, what we call an M1 limit computer, help us set the power, work out different power settings for our engines to look after them. Below that we've got flaps and slats indication. Below that again we've got ailerons, elevators and rudder indications, position indicators. To the left of that we have our engine panel. Two engines, left and right. N1 starting from the top all the way down, temperatures, N2s and fuel flows down the bottom. To the left of that we have a master warning panel, as you can see. It warns us of quite a few in-flight emergencies or minor emergencies that we can deal with in flight. To the left of that we've got some backup instruments, just a standby artificial horizon, standby altimeter and standby airspeed indicator. Below that we've both got one each. We have what we call an INS. It's again a navigation aid, works purely off gyroscopes and gives us a great little position, airspeeds, track guidance and all the good stuff. Coming back on the panel, standard power levers, speed lever, help us get down if we're if ATC normally hold us up as they normally do. Flap levers, trim wheels, park brakes, start levers, captain's radio stack, standby radio stack, and just nav aid selection devices. Further back we just have trim wheels, standard like a little tomahawk, something like that. We just trim the flight controls as well. And above your head we have our overhead panel, and to go through it quickly, we've got wing de-icing and engine de-icing equipment, seatbelt signs, all our lighting in this panel here, panel lighting for the flight deck, trim and pitch controls, yaw dampener controls, servo controls for the hydraulics of all the flight controls, and above that again we'll just race through it quickly for you. To the left we have other certain things, like we've got HF comms for long distance communication, low speed aileron controls, more switches for other systems to do with flight controls. Out to the left, warning calls and chimes and switches for cancelling emergency bells. We don't like that too often. Out to the right, window temperature heats to keep our windows hot. And out to the right again, just the master switches for our radios. And I think you've seen the flight engineers panel. So I hope you enjoy your flight. Cheers. No radios.
Steering light.
425 is rolling.
And the clock. Okay. Checks complete.
Your clock. It's done, yeah. Good. Hey, too stable.
Too stable.
Toga, M1 SRS.
Power effect.
V1 rotates.
C130, continue approach for runway
and turn right direct to Norway.
Cleared now, flight level 180 and direct to Toronto.
Okay, right turn, thanks.
23 looking at.
Right. Top back, thanks.
It's just turning off.
Trans 4425 and 2905 knots to land runway 3 to right.
4425. Slow on the auto throttle, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Especially as a brick there.
500 servo.
500 servo checks.
Ocean Guten Abend, Lufthansa 5027 ILS 3 to right. For 5027, hello, becoming number 2 of the 2905 knots.
100 above, check. B-side.
Visual landing.
100 feet. 50. 30. 20. 10.
Trans 4425, area for left 20 Alpha 4.
Hey, firm, Eurotrans 4425.
Okay, turn left here, Alpha 4 and Alpha parking Echo 8.
Alpha 4, Alpha Echo 8, Eurotrans 4425.
After landing procedures, please. Brakes are good.